Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Raakesh Blokhra. I'm recording this video from my music studio, which is in my basement, and most of the music that you hear from me has been produced over here. This is located in my basement, which is also the place where my band comes and rehearses for performances or record music in the studio itself. This is a video series that I'm doing for all the musical instruments that I have, and specifically talk about what those instruments are, why do I have them, what do I like about them, what I don't like about them, and a little bit about how they sound. So I did a previous video about a Greg Bennett design acoustic guitar, which is a six-string guitar, acoustic electric. If you haven't watched that video, you can find it in the playlist. And today I want to talk about a different guitar which takes things to the next level, and that is a 12-string guitar. The first time I heard this guitar was when I was very, very young in a place called Park Cafe in Shimla. One of our friends, his name was Dhananjay Aluwalia, and we recently lost him, and we miss him because he was a beautiful human being. He used to have this guitar, and he influenced the music culture in that part of the country back in the day. We all loved his choice of music, and he also used to play very good guitar, and he would play the 12-string guitar, and it just sounded magical in his hands. But he would also let us play, even though we were newbies. He didn't care about the fact that we can damage the guitar or anything like that. He was like, man, there's a guitar, you gotta play it, try it out, have fun. And that tells you a lot about what kind of person he was. So that's the reason why he is missed so much. But anyway, so since I heard this guitar um, when I was 14 or 15 years old, I always wanted to have one. And one day I was walking with my cousin Rajiv to a local music shop, and we saw this guitar on clearance. Now, this is not a cheap guitar, actually, it's pretty expensive, but the shopkeeper had it for 50% off clearance. I have no idea why, because it did not make any business sense. This guitar was in perfect condition. It was brand new. I think it's just like maybe Yamaha was coming out with a newer version, or this guitar was sitting with the music shop for a long enough time that it did not sell. So he wanted to get rid of it. But I was happy to put my hand on it and say, all right, I'll take it. And he also threw in a guitar case with it. Like he was desperate to sell it. Uh, Almost feels like this guitar was destined to end up in my hands. And I appreciate that. So just like other guitars, this one is an acoustic electric guitar, and it has a built-in tuner, which is a beautiful thing for me because tuning a 12-string guitar would otherwise be very difficult. It has a volume knob on it. It also has other knobs to control the lows, mids, and highs. Uh, Gives you a lot of options to play around with the pickup. You can just connect the 3.5 millimeter cable into this and the other end into the computer or amplifier, and you are ready to perform. Now, it's a heavier guitar than the other ones. I'll be honest about that. And the reason is, I think, because the tension that the fretboard has to withstand by 12 very tight strings pulling it is a lot. And just like you've seen a bow and arrow, right? If you put a rope around a wood and you pull it, that bow turns. Similarly, bends. Similarly, with this guitar also, I think they have to put a lot of weight into the neck and the fretboard itself so that the extra tension from the 12 strings does not affect it. And I've had this guitar for over 10 years now, and there is absolutely no bent in it. It is perfectly fine and it plays magical. Even though its size doesn't make you feel like it can sound so rich because it's very thin, almost like 3 inches wide at the neck, uh, approximately 4 inches towards the head. Um, and it's a small guitar, as compared to other guitars, slightly on the smaller side, but it sounds so much better. The model number on this one is APX 702, and the 12 stands for 12 string. So the reason why I wanted this guitar was because number one, I was fascinated with it. Number two, Yamaha did a really good job with this particular guitar since the fretboard is not extremely wide and the gap between the strings is not too much, which can actually be a problem. Sometimes when you're playing a chord and your one of the fingers starts touching the string above it, makes an unpleasant noise. But if you're careful while playing it, that is not a problem. But with the comfort and the ergonomic structure of it and the fact that the play is very minimal, so the cables are not too far apart from the fretboard, makes it super easy to play this guitar. I've played it in some of my songs. I don't think you can play it in all of them because it has a separate niche for what songs you can play with this particular guitar. However, I do enjoy playing one song, and if somebody asks me, like, what is so special about a 12-string guitar, I would tell them exactly the same thing. That if you are playing a song that has rich acoustic guitaring in it, with one guitar, it sounds very soloish. It sounds like very lonely. For example, Hotel California, if you hear the Eagles play Hotel California live on stage, it sounds very rich because they have so many acoustic guitarists over there playing the same exact tones and maybe it just gives that feel. But if you're just playing Hotel California on one six-string guitar, it does not sound that amazing, even though there are some people who really play it very well. But this is how it sounds on a 12-string guitar. So on a six-string guitar, it can never sound like this. So whenever you need a little bit more thickness in that sound, I think it just makes more sense. Like Godfather. Or Last of the Mohicans. Or any other for that matter. So this guitar has been with me for a very long time. It works very well. I don't think I would ever need to go out and buy another one. But if I had to replace this one at any given point of time, I would not hesitate to get the same guitar again because it just checks all the boxes for me. It is pretty convenient to carry around. It's light and comfortable to play, and it works great for what I need it for. So hats off to Yamaha for making this guitar. But I wanted to say thank you so much for all of those who reached out for the private event. The show is definitely going to be on now, and we're still gathering the list of people and working on the venue and dates. We will be releasing those soon. So if you live in the tri-state area or even in Connecticut, New York, Pennsylvania, or New Jersey, please send us a message, either a direct message on Instagram. You can find the link in my bio, or you can post a comment below by mentioning which state you live in, and we would reach out to you with the invite, and we would love to meet you in person very, very soon. Thank you so much for following. In the next video, I'm going to talk about the next guitar and take it from there. Thank you so much.